Vocal, babble. Do you ever wonder about all things voice? Need a little expertise to quell the noise. Vocal balance knows the score. They know all the things that singers need and more.
Welcome to Vocal Babble, brought to you by Vocal Balance's Julie Gossage and Richard Halton, where we unlock the conversation on all things voice and life.
Today, welcome along.
Looking beautiful.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
We're
Thanks
really
for having
happy.
me.
We are so excited that you agreed to come to our lowly podcast.
Of course.
So we were chatting earlier, and I was just saying, obviously, we want to talk to you, but we have to talk about Jamie.
Yeah.
But this isn't about that. This shouldn't be about that. That's not what that's done now.
Yeah.
So what we really want to talk to you about is how things are going now and things that are important to you.
Yeah.
In terms of your craft and how you're working, and maybe some hopes and dreams that you might have about what you want to do in the future. But we do need to touch.
Yeah, for sure.
So your first ever job was the lead
Yes.
in an Amazon original film
Yeah.
of
Everybody's talking about Jamie.
talking about Jamie. So obviously that must have been a little bit crazy.
It's still actually crazy when you say it, like when I actually think about it and I have time to sit with it every time. I mean, it's so odd. You just introduced me like that. It's kind of a bit crazy still, really, to like think about what that is to lots of people and what that does mean to me and what that would have meant to me growing up. I suppose it was crazy. It was completely mad.
Have you sort of reconciled the fact that you will always be connected to that role and to that film? It's sort of synonymous with it.
Yeah, I think that with any role where not only you're just coming out the gate with it, but when you make such a huge physical transformation, like I'm not from Sheffield, I don't have bleached blonde hair, my eyebrows aren't plucked to high heavens, like I'm in full drag, like it was such a transformative role physically. People are always gonna associate me with that, but I think moving on from that and growing up, obviously I was very young when I did it, but growing up now, I feel so proud to be attached and linked to that role, especially as it being my first role, and especially, you know, working in Sheffield, working with Warp Films, who have just had the most amazing year this year, with Adolescence.
Amazing.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
It's such an amazing show. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better team and family to like sort of like launch me or leap me into the industry. I was really blessed and lucky, really, to be honest. But yeah, getting my head around being attached to something. I mean, when I first met you, I think we had this conversation about like, you know, like I left drama school and I didn't have time to learn in the ensemble of a show or learn doing a fringe piece of theatre. My big craft and learning was like where the pressure was huge. So yeah, that came with its challenges, and then obviously moving on from that means that I'm met with other challenges now, and of things that I really want to add back in and detail and work on to make sure that I can sustain this career, because you can be a flash in the pan and be gone, and I've been really, really lucky that wasn't the case with Jamie, and I think that was firstly because of Warp Films and them looking after me so well in the process of making the film and it coming out, and Amazon, but then also subsequently since then. And the reason I'm sort of here on this podcast is because obviously you really reach to the people that like yourselves that really helped me post that job in order to make sure I'm good and I'm working hard, you know, and
there'd be quite a few people curious to know how it came about. I mean, you've obviously talked about this on various podcasts.
Sorry,
and
that's right.
But I think there would be a new audience now who would be really curious how you are in a training institution and then suddenly you are transformed into this character and involved in this big project.
Yeah, I was kind of naughty, and you're still not allowed to audition for things when you're at drama school. And
did you break the rules,
I did.
Matt?
I did. Now listen, I don't I've got many opinions since going to drama school. I've got many opinions on drama school and training, which I'm sure we'll get into. But I think it's important to like follow your gut as a human and follow your instinct. And if you see something and you see yourself, and if someone else sees you for it, it was actually my friend Lydia, who I did a production of Spring Awakening with the year before at Stockwell Playhouse with the British Theatre Academy, that said to me, they put out an open call for this film and you should go for it. And I said, it's a movie. Don't be silly. I can barely get myself through first and second year. What's going on? And she was like, you're silly. Like, you should at least go for it. She was like, don't tell
Lydia.
Go, Lydia. Don't tell anyone because you're not allowed to do it. You'll get in trouble. But I did.
Is Lydia now your agent?
No, she should be. She should be. She's since moved to New York. She's doing really well for herself. So hi, Lydia, if you're listening. I just put myself forward. It was an open call, did a self-tape, and then did about 7 rounds, and then got the job. I think the stakes for me back then were so low.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I was like, there's no way I'm getting this job. So I just sort of saw it as an opportunity to, like, go in the room, sing for Dan Gillespie Sales from The Feeling. Like, I was like, I absolutely must do that. Like, I love to sing. I love The Feeling. I must go and sing these songs for these people. And also I was thinking, and one thing Lydia said is like, you're graduating next year and everybody's talking about Jamie is still in the West End. Like, what if, like, not this film? What if they're like, oh, you could do the show? Yeah,
good point.
So I just sort of put myself out there, and that's sort of how I got the job. And the rest is sort of a history, really. But yeah, it was sort of taking a chance on your gut instinct, really, which I think is, reflecting on that, I think actually one of the singular most important things you can do as a creative, as an actor, because I talk a lot about my team and really relying heavily on other people's support and opinions to help you better yourself and to guide you in decision making. But ultimately, like, as an actor and as a freelancer, you're your own boss, and you have to step yourself, and you have to take responsibility for your work, and you have to step yourself into a moment and grab it with both hands, and only you can do that. So if you say yes to something, whether that be an audition or a job, you have to really mean it. So
it's an amazing story, and it goes to prove that open calls are worth it.
They really are. And I think, there's a lot of chat about open calls and whether they are good or bad. And, let's be honest, most of the time an open call is so that a team can promote their project. But that doesn't mean that someone on the creative team isn't sat there all day watching people audition. So you never know. No. You never know. And I think that especially casting directors like Shaheen Baig, who I must shout out, she always is championing new actors. I mean, Owen Cooper from Adolescence, he came from, he was brand new, hadn't done anything before. So you have to just find the right people that are serious about finding new talent. And I was just really lucky that open call fell in that bracket of creative people, really, I suppose.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, just in terms of, I'm a big believer in frequency, and
Me too.
yeah, I really am. And initially, because I'm of an age now where at some point in my earlier years that would have been seen as a little bit woo-woo, but I've just been practicing that myself over the last probably 10 years, and my God, it works.
Some people have it naturally, don't they? They have a high frequency naturally, through upbringing or whatever. If they're brought up in a positive household, positivity. But if you're brought up in a negative household, you've got to work at it, haven't you?
Yeah, you
You've
do.
really got to work at it.
But I think, as you were saying, going with your gut is recognising, what do I really want? And if it's a truth for you, then you put it out there. And I think the most difficult thing, and it happened to you so early on it, is just realising that it's not our business how.
No.
It's just our business to see the end result. And sometimes you get taken, like I did in my career, in a very strange route, which wasn't very nice at times, when I thought I'd be travelling the world singing opera, and that did not happen. But I feel now that I'm actually where I should be.
In the right place.
Anyway, enough about me. But I do think it's important.
More about you.
that I think just putting yourself out there and saying, I would like to do this, gives you just practically more of a chance than somebody who's scared
who isn't
and doesn't do it.
And also it's worth saying, me saying, oh, I had my gut instinct that this is something that I wanted to do. I still didn't believe that I could do it. That's the truth. There was still that something inside me. And actually, I would say, still as I grow through being an adult, I still think there's that little part inside of you that is full of self-doubt and is full of the imposter.
Yeah.
What I will say is that person inside you is more useful for a director than the person on the outside.
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's that person inside you that gets the job, not you.
Yeah.
So you have to. We've talked about this a lot when in our sessions, Julie, but about, you know, kind of just like working through whatever you're thinking and feeling in the moment and meeting the material. But it applies to what you're saying, because, you know, you can be a positive person and think yes and want to receive yes, but ultimately receive no a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Which a lot of us do and you know, deal with. So it's important to just keep sort of putting yourself out there and keep sort of reinvesting in yourself and investing in your why, really, and what for and why you're doing it. Though.
Talking about auditioning, I might be going sort of off-piste a little bit here.
No.
I think what's really useful as a young performer, artist, is recognising that auditioning is part of your job. That is your job.
That's the job.
And it's so hard not to see it as being, I only get the job if I get the job, if you know what I mean. I only get, if I'm successful in the audition, then I'm do the job. But actually, the audition is part of the structure of our lives as artists, as actors, as performers. Yeah,
and it can be a really good and really positive part of your job if you treat it as such, because I always think an audition is about booking the room, not the job. People want to work with people, so like I might not be right for a role, and I really might not be right for it. Like, and I could read it on the page and I could be like, oh, this really isn't. I don't see myself in this world, and I sure as hell know that the casting director, when they see me do this, is not going to see me in this. Just because I'm a realist, let's be realistic, right? You're not right for everything, but sometimes the benefits of going in, showing up, being well prepared, and delivering your version of what you would do, they go, oh, that's an interesting human, not this, but
Definitely.
what
Maybe
about
something else.
maybe something else?
Yeah.
And again, acting is muscular. It's like it really, like it's a muscle and it's a practice, and the more you can audition, and you know, if you're not getting the auditions, the more you can practice and self-tape and meet your friends and read scripts. I think that is super beneficial in training yourself to be the athlete within the performance and be the technician within the performance, so that when the job lands, you aren't in a situation where you're not physically or emotionally ready to take it on. But yeah, I kind of love auditioning, kind of.
You don't hear that very often.
In a way.
So when you say that, do you mean, does it matter? It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're just doing script or whether you're singing. Does it make a difference to you?
I have to say I've done a lot more. I haven't done a lot of musical auditions. I do a lot more TV and film auditions, and I always think that I am really excited about the prospect of like being shown and shared scripts that like of films that are being made by amazing filmmakers that are going to be nominated for Oscars next year, and no one else has read it yet. And I see that as a real privilege, that person is sharing their work with me. So I see it as me sharing my work back, or me contributing to their work. Like, this is how I would contribute. And I find that to be exciting. And the more creatives and the more directors and cinematographers and people that I've met along the way, they feel the same about the work. Like, it's not like I feel like, sorry, I'm rambling, but I feel like if you know who you are, right, and you know what you can bring to a project, it's okay to not get it.
So
do you know what I mean?
Have you acquired that skill? Is that something that you've gained through experience?
Yeah.
Because when you originally auditioned for drama school, and you said you weren't accepted by anybody, but you had the sort of the willing, you know, the staying power to say, I'm going to do a foundation course and then re-audition.
I don't want to be naive. It comes with time, and it comes with. I'm in a very unique situation, and to be honest with you, I'm really, really grateful that I kind of got everything I wanted out of my first job. So I know I'm sort of speaking with a little bit of. I'm conscious of what I'm saying, because I know that it's not everyone is as lucky and as fortunate, but yeah, I think that actually rejection and the no's and all of that, and then it makes you stronger. But then you also have more of an understanding of like it's not. There's so many other reasons why you don't get a job, and the only other reason why you really don't get a job when it boils down to it is because someone else did.
Yeah. So
it's not about me.
No.
By the time I'm getting the audition for a movie that will be nominated for an Oscar next year, I'm good. Like, so I have to know I'm good, right? In my head. Max, the outside Max. The internal Max be like, oh, it's scary. Oh. But the external Max has to go, I'm good, right? So I just have to present me. And then the only reason I don't get it is because my friend did. And my friend was really perfect. Or someone else did, because that's... I don't know if we've spoken about this analogy before. I don't know if it's a you analogy or not. But casting works in this way, right? Imagine you're in a supermarket and you're going down the sweet aisle, right? And you're stood in front of all of your favourite chocolates and sweets, Skittles, Smarties, you name it, it's there, right?
Definitely not Julie's analogy.
Okay, the wine aisle then.
Oh, how very dare you.
Me too.
More appropriate.
Me too. But what I'm saying is you don't interrogate the choice you don't make. As a casting team, you pick the one you want.
Yes.
Sometimes it gives you a bad belly. Sometimes it's the most delicious snack. Sometimes these decisions are perfect for us and sometimes they're not. But like, as the actor, you just have to put yourself on the shelf and present you, because we're all very different. And that, I feel like locking into that as an actor has made me go, every time you do audition, you just put your best version on the shelf. Because they're not interrogating, they're really not.
No.
They don't, the amount of tapes people watch, casting directors watch, they're not really watching it going, oh, he's terrible. Didn't miss that beat. Yeah. They're just going, oh yeah, he's got something interesting. Yeah, keep that
Potentially,
one. Or like, wrong hair colour. Not wrong hair colour, but it could be like,
it can be.
Eyes aren't dough enough. Feel like he needs to have a more dough colour.
It's the uncontrollables, right?
Yeah, so it's like they're not really interrogating it that much. So that helps me, I think. Yeah. And you can't do any more than you.
No. So and any casting director worth their salt wants you to be that person because they want that job to be easier for them. They want to find the right person and plenty of potential right people. So they are wanting you to be the person. Yeah. Rather than, right, come on then, let's show us what you got.
And also I think as actors we forget how much time other people spend doing their jobs. Yeah. And I think that because I was central to the first two films that I did, both Jamie and Loneliest Boy in the World, I was #1 on the call sheet, and that comes with a lot of pressure, but also you see the same crew every day and you see how much work other departments do. And I think that feeling like a crew member on those jobs and part of the team, I had a real love and respect for the job that everyone does to make something happen. And I think the same thing happens in audition. I don't think that there's ever... You're only getting called in if they really would like to see you. Yeah. So it is... You have to enjoy auditioning. Otherwise you're in the wrong job. I think. And maybe that's bad. Maybe that's bad to say.
No, I think you're right. I do think that obviously coming from a singing perspective and working with lots of artists who have to sing for auditions, if your technique is something that troubles you, then it's really hard to stay in the character. I mean, when we did the work, you're fabulous. You're a really great singer, and you know what you want to do with your voice. But it's still, there are times, isn't it, when nervous, the phrase comes up and you're like, oh my God, here comes that phrase. And actually, we talk about this a lot, don't we, when we're working with singers and when we're doing our workshops, is that if you were going to make these noises, where are they coming from in your character? Yeah. And if you're going to make a high note, then you have to be in a place where you're really going for it and you really mean it. Yeah. But the brain gets in the way a bit more when you're singing. You have to have these specific pitches. Yeah. So I think once you work through that and understand that your singing voice is just a part of your speaking voice in terms of a heightened place, then you can do that more readily. But I do think that I ask people, would you be nervous if you were just speaking it? And they say no in a song. So I get really nervous when I sing in auditions. Well, say it at pitch then. You get nervous?
I think people get nervous in auditions. Whether you're singing or not, I think and again, this goes back to, because when we started, for the listeners that are listening, I started working with Julie before I started the Lightning Thief musical because I wanted to nail the vocals.
Yes. And you worked really hard on that.
And we worked, I was really grateful. We worked every week. It was amazing. But there is a difference between using your breath and being in a room with someone who you completely trust and love to then being on a stage in front of 200 people every night having to sing those songs. But ultimately, it's a hard one to navigate. I think it all just comes down to the breath. Yeah,
I think it does. And just breath and intention.
Yeah.
But what I'm just talking to you, obviously we've talked quite a lot in terms of working together. But it seems to me that it's very clear it's quite a natural thing for you to be this focused and to understand that the craft needs to be constantly worked on.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? Let's talk about Little Max in Basingstoke. Where do you think that comes from? Because I know you work with Tom, who's one of our lovely, gorgeous singers.
Tom put us in touch. Tom's the reason I'm here, basically,
Tom
really.
Tom Harrop.
Yeah, whichever one you want to call him. Hi, Tom. Do you know what? I think that my focus and my dedication comes really simply from my love of singing and my love of and my appreciation for singing, right? And actors and acting and filmmakers. When I just to relate specifically to the work that we did on Percy, I loved the show and I loved the sound that Chris and Rob had put on the album that had already existed, and I wanted to be as good. I wanted to check in with professionals who I knew I could trust from recommendations, who have a track record of working in the way that is based in a technical world, but also a simple acting world. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to surround myself with people that I could trust to go, right, I know that you're going to tell me if this is wrong. I'd rather surround myself with no people than yes people, because that's the only way you ever step forward, right? So I do think it comes from my love, but also like I want to get it right. I want to do a good job. I want to better myself. I want to do this for a long time. I think actually, if I'm really honest, which I'm allowed to be, thank you. I think that often being a queer actor and stepping into that queer role that I did initially, I didn't want that to just be the end of my story.
No.
And that is a beautiful part of my story and who I am, and I'm so grateful for it. But I think I want to work hard. I want to be that actor that continues to surprise you in roles I take. And when you come to see it, I want you to go, Max is a singer. Like when I'm in a musical, like I love watching musicals where people give it acting. I can do that. It's cool. But in a musical where you're singing pop rock songs, you better be able to sing pop rock songs. I'm sorry. As an audience member, I want to watch it. That's what I want to see. So I want to be what I want to see ultimately, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I worked hard, because I loved it and I wanted to do good.
What was the first taste of the show in terms of you getting to hear it for the first time? Had you listened to the soundtrack and you had an inkling that this would suit you? Yeah. This was before you even looked at any sheet music, presumably, right? So you just went by a sort of hour or
by ear, yeah. I mean, I do read sheet music, but I not as well as I listen to feeling. And I was contacted by the producer who was producing the show, who asked if I would be maybe interested in it. So I looked at it and I'd read the books growing up. And then after that, I met the director and I fell in love with Lizzie G, who directed the show. And I was like, oh, wow, this could be really exciting. And to be honest with you, I was looking for a musical project after doing Jamie, the film. I love musicals and I did really want to do a musical project. So I was like looking for one that felt right to take on. And it was like, felt like it was pop rock score. There's got lots of soul elements to it as well.
High energy.
It's really high energy. When I think I'm so tired even thinking about it. But no, like I had to say yes and do it.
So the reality of then getting to grips with the role, and the like what we call the tessitura of the songs.
Yeah. Julie, can't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, let's get into work mode.
Yeah.
And let's respect this part,
Yeah.
knowing what you've got to do 8 times a week.
Yes.
What was the process then? What did you do in terms of the approach?
So the approach was, I read all of the books again, the 5 originals plus the series of Olympus, because I am a world builder in my brain. I build the world internally, and then I forget it. And I think if you have source material, you have no excuse. Read the source material and then forget about it. I don't like to try and intentionally put too much on a performance. If I haven't done enough world building, it doesn't exist within me. You're not going to understand what it is. So that was the process of the acting wise, how that was going to come through me. And then I was like, right, I've got a technical skill I need to execute in this that I can't ignore. And I was shopping around all of my favourite singers in the West End, and Julie's name came up. A really, like, pretty much everyone who I spoke to was like,
now come on.
Yeah, like
pretty much everyone.
Pretty much everyone who I spoke to, who I really admire and love. Two of my closest musical theatre singers, Emma Kingston and Rob Houchin, you were on their list of people to recommend. And then I was like, oh gosh, Julie, vocal balance. I've done this. I know this. This is something I've done before. And I was like, oh, Tom. And then I said to Tom, I was like, please, will you put me in touch with Julie? And then I got in touch with Julie, and firstly, I think we had a few sessions where I just came and I sang, and we felt it out. We didn't work on material initially. We knew that was going to be our aim, to work on material. And then actually what we did is we just methodically went through the score from start to finish.
We did. And we looked at exactly what you needed to sing. Because there are also, in any role, sometimes it's that there are these little tiny snippets.
It's not the big song. It's like the middle.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of an ensemble, which you don't think about, and then suddenly you've got this horrendously high.
Yeah.
So because I didn't know the score at all, so it was really good for us just to work through it methodically, and then come back and say, this needs work, this needs more work, and just to be.
How far out was this then from first day?
I think it was quite far out. I was in Stranger Things at the time, and it
months.
it was months. It was quite far out.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, I think I started rehearsals for Percy in the October, and I was finishing Strange because I doubled up for 4 weeks, and then I think we started in the summer.
I think it was in the summer.
I think it was in like June time.
Not a lot of people know this, though, do they? That it takes quite a lot of embodying.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of muscle memory. And people think you just pick the score up and sing it.
Some people can do that, and some I'm not. I can't take that away from people that can do that. But I feel like I can't, and a lot of people that are actors can't. Like I singing and music is in my brain. Yes, about intention and feeling, but such a technical thing, especially when you're having. And I think because I was doing an 8-show week, and my part in Stranger Things, I was doing this really low, gravelly voice in my part in Stranger Things. I played Alan Munson, and he was this crazy drama guy that was doing this Conjure Man accent, which is this like southern, lilted, gravelly accent. I can't do it. I can't, honestly, I couldn't even.
But that's quite far back, isn't it?
It's just like it's just. I was not in the right place. But because I was doing that 8 shows a week, I was like, oh, I'm speaking 8 shows a week, and this is hard work. So I was like, there's no way that I leave this job doubling up for 4 weeks, having not worked on this score, being able to sing this material 8 shows a week. So I think I was lucky that doing the play gave me that. Oh, there we go. You probably need to put some work in on this one if you want to. If you want to enjoy the job actually, and you want to. How do I say this? I think as well, when you're in a role, right, there's always part of you that's not fully immersed, right?
Yeah.
Because you're trying to be the technician within the work. So I wanted to try and eliminate as much of the technician as I could before being in the rehearsal room, because I'm not useful to a director or really a musical director. A musical director that's not a vocal coach or a singing teacher, I'm not useful to them if I don't come in technically in a great space. So that was kind of why. I think that my experience, I mean, my limited experience of musicals, I think the reason that I would choose to work the way that I worked again is because I want to know the fixes. I want to know what I'm doing wrong, and I want to have it fixed so that I can know that I'm safe. And that's kind of the be all and end all of it in terms of I'll still be in rehearsals. I still won't have decided how I'm going to sing it or how I'm going to deliver the lines, but I know that I can. And I know that I can do it safely, and I know that I can sustain it. And I know that I can make smart choices within a character that maybe is not as smart or conscious of what they're doing.
Yeah, it's
I've
so
already
important
done
that, because you've got to leave a bit of headroom for the director and the MD to work with you. But at the same time, you've got to know that this is sustainable over many performances.
Yeah, it's about going back to. I think it's about going back to knowing yourself and what you're bringing to a project. I think that if a director's having to give you too much guidance on what you're doing, they're not looking at the bigger picture. No. And I think that if you need them to give you too much guidance, you're not bringing enough of what you're supposed to be bringing to a project. So I think that there is always a balance and a dance to be had between yourself and a creative team. But the more prepared you can go in and the more malleable you can be, the more like the sponge and the Play-Doh that you can be for the team to create their overall vision, but remain at your heart yourself within your project. I think that that's how you can probably best succeed. But I don't know.
And what do you think's taught you that?
I think I've worked with a lot of different types of directors actually, and I've worked with a lot of different types of actors who've got various degrees of levels of training, some that went to drama school, some that went to drama school, some that have just done TV and come up via the television workshop. And I think that I've stolen my favourite things from each of them. I mean, my first job, Richard E. Grant, absolute legend.
We were going to ask you about him.
Then Sharon Horgan, who works completely differently to someone like Richard, and then Sarah Lancashire, then Shobna. They all work they're like 4 examples of people who work completely differently to each other. So I was the casting director in the Sweet Shop, calling back to my thing earlier, and I was looking at all of them and what they were doing, and I thought, oh, I like that bit. Oh, okay, like picking up little bits and tips from them. And I think that my practice, as your practice should never stop evolving, and you should never stop learning.
That's a really valid point, because I mean, I keep mentioning our age. I shouldn't.
Sounds like you're paranoid about something.
Oh, I'm not paranoid. I'm very glad that I'm still alive. So let's be grateful.
Keep positive here.
But I do think you put me off now. What was I going to say?
Talking about working in different ways,
always
developing your own craft.
About never stopping learning.
No,
yeah.
And
every day's a school day.
It sounds a bit, but it is sometimes. I certainly learn from Richard. If I watch him teach, I'm like, oh, I'm going to nick that.
Yeah.
And other teachers, not just you.
Yeah.
Some of our
constant evolving.
Fabulous teachers, and it's just great. Just taking it's not plagiarism in any way, shape, or form. It's
ideas.
how people through the ages have learned and taken things that feel right for them, whatever it is.
I mean, this is a conversation for later, but I'm getting from you like a vibe of you're going to go to the other side of the table by way of directing.
Yes. I do write. I'm writing at the minute.
Yeah.
I've written one feature, and I'm currently developing another short film at the minute. And I would like to direct for
I just get that vibe from
you. I really love it.
Yeah.
I really do love it. But I just recently went back to Basingstoke, to my old local theatre group, and I assistant directed a production for them over the summer, because I was off work for my sister's wedding, who just got married, my best friend's wedding as well. So I took the summer off of basically auditioning of the job, and I went back to my old theatre group and did some work with them, and I really, really loved it, and it was super informative. So yeah, I definitely see myself on both sides. But again, like I think it's like all departments, they really, like, going back to what you're saying, you don't. In every job, you sort of shouldn't stop learning, because I think it'd be boring. Like, if you were so rigid in your practice or rigid in what you do, people wouldn't want to work with you, because we're humans, right? And we all want to be intertwined with each other in some way, and so being rigid doesn't work.
So do you think you've been quite fortunate with the directors you've worked with? Because you get some who struggle with their communication skills, in as much as some actors feel if if the director doesn't talk to them or doesn't note them, then they don't like them. And
Oh,
then
I
if
think
they
the opposite.
overnote them, then they don't like them. You know.
I think a director wouldn't give you a job if they didn't like you.
Yeah.
And I think that I don't know. Maybe you sort of just have to really get on with your job, and the thoughts that come in that are being shared by whatever department are only to help you in the end result. And again, I go back to talking about my first couple of projects, is that because I was on set so much and I saw everyone else's work, you have to let other people do their job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to trust the hair and makeup department, you know, Oscar-winning, BAFTA-winning people that are working with you. Trust them, let them do their job.
Doing.
They know what they're doing. And then also, it does alleviate some of your stress if you let them do their job.
Yeah.
And then, that, like you say, pining for a director's notes is a fatal trick, a fatal place to find yourself in, because
You become needy.
yeah, because no one's going to tell you you're good. Like, no,
I haven't got time for that.
no. Like, you're kind of there. Like, no one is going, oh yeah, Max, really great work in that. Lovely work in that scene. We've got to move on to the next scene. If it wasn't good, you would know.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. Again, we all like to be told, you know, that we're doing good work and that we're appreciated for the work we're doing, but that often comes right at the end of a project, or like right at the end of the day, like not in the middle of the rehearsal room. But again, I think that's because Johnny Buttrell, who directed the first film that I did, Jamie, he was first-time features director, but had directed lots of theatre and had choreographed a lot, so he was learning as well.
Yeah.
And
That must have been a really nice vibe, actually.
Yeah,
maybe
it
a bit
was.
scary, I suppose, as well, a bit hairy.
it was. I mean, we were both looked after massively well. But again, if you can be like cool and like chill out, which I've learnt to do over the years. I'm not a chill person, let's be honest. I'm not. Like, you know, I'm a stress head, really. So I'm coming across quite well on this podcast.
Yeah, you don't talk about that at all.
But
Who are you and what have you done with Max?
I've locked her in a box. She's not coming out. No, I think that if you can be like a little bit, if you can be chilled. I've learnt that though, because I've been in situations where like probably me and Johnny were both really deers in headlights on that first job, and we weren't chilled. And I was like, oh, that didn't produce the best work that I possibly could have done in my life. But
you'd done no screen work
Yeah.
before. So tell us what it was like. It must be an instinct kicking in massively in terms of how big to go
yes,
on camera.
yeah,
Especially when it's a musical.
And it's a
Yeah.
musical,
This sort of slight
sort of hybrid thing
odd
going on.
thing.
it was a hybrid. I had worked with Alison Rashley, who is an acting coach, and she was an acting coach at the television workshop. And she came on board to look after me, Lauren, and all of the Year 11 cast.
Right.
And she was basically my eyes. And she was there every day. She was there from my first day to my last day, and I took her with me on my second job to do Loneliest Boy in Wales over the COVID period, which we don't talk about. The COVID period, not Loneliest Boy in the World. But I took her with me on that, again, because you can't put yourself inside yourself when you're performing. So to have someone who you trust on the eyes,
Yeah.
or like you on the
Yeah,
ears,
exactly.
like it's so worthwhile. So I had her, and then when you talk about how big do you go, how small do you go, again, that's learning on the job. What lens are we on? Are we in a close? Are we in a 2-shot? Are we in a wide? Then the person who becomes your best friend is the camera operators. So you've got, you know, different camera operators. We were rolling on 2 cameras on Jamie, so Alana on B cam and Chris, the DOP, on A cam, and it was like understanding. Okay, where's my camera? Where am I looking? I'm quite wide, so I need to like make sure I'm physically doing something.
Right there.
It was a lot. It was a lot. But again, it's like letting people do their job, like letting Alana tell me, oh, okay, here's your eyeline on the matte box, or like, Max, you can do less.
Great.
And stuff like that. I'm
No
like,
wonder you
"Thank
remember their
Alana."
names.
Oh no, yeah,
really
but
important.
Honestly, you're with those. You're more likely to, when you're in a film set, know all the crew's name than you are the cast name.
Yeah.
Because Richard came for 2 weeks, but Alana was the cam operator from day one till day end.
Yeah.
And again, I was living in Sheffield, so all of these people become your best friends, and they go on to make amazing work, and you go on to support each other, and you find each other again. Like on Black Mirror, just to drop that in a little bit. Niall, who did my hair and makeup on Jamie for the whole shoot, he wasn't my personal, but he was the one who looked after me. He was working on Black Mirror, and then when I booked the job, he was like, I've just got your headshot through. You're coming on the set for Black Mirror next week. I was like, please don't tell me you're doing my makeup. But he did my hair and makeup for that job as well. It's such a small industry. So those people the crews and the teams on films and stage shows are honestly truly the unsung heroes, because they do so much work that you don't see.
So what do you do for fun?
Oh gosh.
Keep it clean.
Well, I drink. That's clean.
Good.
I drink. I see my friends. I see a lot of theatre. I love theatre. So as sad
it really
as
is huge for you, isn't it?
It's such a huge part of my life. Go to the cinema. I'm really close to my sister, so I hang out with my sister a lot. I really love, like, this is maybe like a bit of a cut, but I love like board games and card games. I love, my favourite thing to do, and I think we bond on this, is holidays. Yeah. I love going on holiday more than anything, because I love to relax. So anything that's relaxing, really. What else do I do?
Food.
Good food.
And nice wine.
Nice wine, yeah. A nice little
Sunshine.
crisps New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc.
Crikey.
Are you a flop and drop kind of person? I mean,
What does that mean?
when you go on a holiday, you literally
Oh,
go to
yeah.
the
I think
beach
it's
and
drop
you
and flop.
Oh, drop and flop. Yeah.
Is it drop and flop? Sorry, not flop and
Flop
drop.
and drop. I was like, what does that mean?
Flop and drop.
As in, like,
It's got a different connotation.
yeah, that's why I was like,
altogether.
what do you mean?
Drop and flop.
Yes. I try to be, because I'm not that at home. Really.
Do you find it difficult to relax
Yeah.
at home?
Yeah. I put all of my energy into my work, which is bad. But
No, it's-
because
well-
you should relax. But I feel like, again, these jobs that we do, it's important to have boundaries for sure, and to
Yeah.
give yourself that relaxing time. But being a creative person and working anywhere in the world, not in London, in the West End, not in the West End, on films around the world, wherever, it's an all-consuming job. I have to say it is. To be able to do it at the level that people aspire to do it at, it's an all-consuming job. And you have to really love it, because you have to sacrifice so much. Like this year, like I said, I took the summer off so I could go to my sister's and my best friend's wedding. Like that is it's really important that you set boundaries and you take time off.
Definitely.
But some people don't have the luxury of taking the summer off.
No.
And if you didn't have the summer off, there is scenarios whereby you can't go to your sister's wedding.
Yeah, I've heard this several times from people that we work with in
Yeah.
shows, and they're not allowed an
Can't get
NA.
an NA, yeah.
It's mad. But again, like, I come at it from a very lucky
Yes.
place. Like in order to be the creative person that I want to be moving forward, moving into writing and directing and pouring myself and my own life into things, I have to have lived. So I can't miss my sister's wedding,
No,
unfortunately,
no.
because I need to feel love and joy. And the only time I actually really feel that is in life. So you do have to allow yourself those moments.
But you bring a lot of life to what you do. So it's a
Yeah.
reciprocal arrangement,
is.
isn't it?
It
I mean,
is.
You just don't want to be a stagey nose, as I call it. You know, somebody
Yeah.
stagey nose is somebody who's just totally focused on that and nothing else.
Yeah, I think that's important, and it's important to give yourself the time off, because otherwise, like you say, you don't have anything in your vessel is empty,
Yeah.
and you have to fill yourself up so that you can pour into your projects.
And you become
really.
a well-rounded person.
Yeah,
So it's so important.
it is.
So, what I wanted to just chat to you about, because we spoke earlier, and I know it's really unusual for you to do anything like this.
Yeah.
Podcasts, and to put yourself out there,
Yeah.
unless it's to do with a job
Yeah.
and promo. Tell me why you agreed to do this.
So I had this conversation with James
Yeah.
the other day as well, but I love what you do. I love your ethos.
Oh, thanks.
No, I do. I think that one of the conversations that I've been having with myself recently is that when I think about myself going to and wanting to go to drama school, the names that were in my head were the big musical theatre drama schools, which I'm not going to name check. We all know who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what wasn't in my name was your name, and what wasn't in my name was like, who are the teachers, who are the practitioners, who is going to give me the skills. And then the reason I think that that's an issue, and the reason I think it's important for performers to talk about who their teams are and who they work with is because other people can then actually train well. Because, and this is the drama school that I really wanted to go to, I really, really wanted to go to this drama school. I hadn't realised that, and this is because my favourite musical theatre people had gone there, people I loved years before me.
Yeah.
The people that worked at that drama school and ran that programme now had subsequently moved on to another drama school. So the training at that drama school was no longer associated in any way with the training that they are now providing.
Yeah.
And those schools, as brilliant as they are, they change all the time, and those faculty is changing. So in my why for doing this podcast really is I think that it's important to highlight a group of individuals who you believe in their practice and who have helped you. Like I finished my first musical project, Jamie, and I was like, I didn't really feel like a singer on that. Like, I really love singing. I want to be a better singer. And I left Percy and I was like, I'm a singer. Yeah, I can sing. I'm good. I feel good. So, and that was because, I worked with a lot of teachers at a lot of different places. People can Google where I train, so it's not going to be that hard to try and find out who this is. But this song is too high for you. You'll never be able to sing that song. But not actually really giving me any whys or like what I needed to do in terms of my voice to enable me to try and access anything. So my why is because I really believe in what you do, genuinely, and because I think what I would love to see happen for the next round of people that are going into training is that you don't need to go to drama school. You just need to know who you need to go to for your singing.
That's a really interesting point.
And I would love, I think I heard about vocal balance, and it's, you've got such an amazing reputation, but I would love for kids that are thinking about going to do this as a career to put something like vocal balance ahead of going to one of those schools. Wow. Because vocal balance can be forever, as it is for me, and as our relationship and our working relationship, I get more musicals and stuff going forward, our working relationship will continue to develop my craft and be beneficial for me. And I don't know, and I can't guarantee or promote something that it's not the same as it was when I was there, or anything. And I love Erdang. I love Erdang so much, and their training is absolutely amazing. And but I think let's be specific about who you want to work with, rather than like, I want to go to that school because Max went there, or I want to go to that school because, for me, it was like Rob Houchin went there, so I must go there. Mm-hmm. So I think that if
we know where you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't actually that school, actually.
Okay.
But,
okay.
But
must have got it right in the first place.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. But I just think that's my why. My why is because I think this is a really good. I love your method. I love your ethos and what you stand for, and I think that the one bit of advice I could give to any young person, or not even young person, anyone that's like wanting to have a career in musical theatre or film or TV, is find the people and practitioners, the individual name. And even with agents, people are like, can you set me up with your agent? Like, why do you want to go to this agent? Who, like, get specific about the people, because this industry is people, not names. This industry isn't Netflix, Disney, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's so big, right? That's the big picture. Yeah. What is the small picture? That's how you're gonna, I truly believe that's how I've managed to progress in my own craft and also continue to work, because we make connections as humans, I think. And people look too much at the highlight reel.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've rambled then, haven't I?
No, thank you. I mean, honestly, I asked you that question not expecting that amazing.
I had thought about it, and
it's very sweet.
I asked to bring it up, just to let you know. Yeah. Just to let I asked James. I asked James to bring it up because I think it's important. Yeah. For someone that does talk so much, when I'm on a press campaign for a film or a project, talking so much about myself or the project or the character. I said to James, please bring it up, because the why for me is because it's like this is part of my team. Like, this is like, I see you as like, you'll be with me for a long time, I hope. I think training is important. That's what I will say. Yeah. I think training is really important, and working in your craft is really important. So I don't want to get that twisted. And I think however you can do that, and however you can afford to do that, and how you can access that, you have to go for that option. My point is that it's not the be all and end all. And I've worked with actors and singers that have not trained, who are phenomenal, and I could never come close to them. and I've worked with other people that have trained for years and years and that are experts in their technical craft, and I admire them. So I suppose not seeing drama school as a barrier to training, because it's not.
Great. I mean, I think that's really valid. So just moving on from that, not moving on, but actually expanding on that, there's a 17-year-old young man who would really like to do some of the things that you're doing in his life. Do you have any little nuggets of top tips in terms of what to action and also how to process? And do you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Do you have any tips?
Because you're asking for what can I practically do?
Yeah, in terms of what they should be doing in terms of working on their craft, how the mindset should be, what maybe not to worry about that you might have worried about, and things that you might need to concentrate on that maybe you don't realise are important. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So one thing I would say is that if you can, you have to immerse yourself in the world you want to be in. Mm-hmm. So I was really lucky. When I was 16, I worked at the cinema in Basingstoke. So I saw a lot of film. I saw a lot of huge commercial films. The Odeon in Basingstoke was more of commercial cinema, so I didn't get to see a lot of the awards films, but I was interested in the actors. So I would, you have to be really immersing yourself in the world you want to exist in. So watching films, going to film festivals, showing up for your friends that are working. Those are practical things you can do, going and seeing and doing stuff. One thing you can probably avoid, and I say this to myself now, and I say this, my best friend Heba says this to me all the time, is don't look sideways. Yeah. Because comparison is really the thief of joy. Yeah. And no one is you. No one is you. No one is me. No one is. And we're all going to be doing different things at all different points, earning different amounts of money and doing all sorts of... Everyone is just completely on their own individual path. So if you can avoid looking sideways... That has helped me. That's not a physical thing that you can do, though, is it? No. That's just a philosophical thing. But yeah, I always start with what I can do. Get a list together. Get a list of things that you want to work on for yourself. Like, are you someone who wants to sing more? Mm-hmm. So find someone locally, or reach out. Start reaching out to. Find out who your favourite singer's vocal coach is. And if you can afford that, try and get in touch. Mm-hmm. If you can't afford that, I'm sure that vocal coach might have a recommendation of someone who is slightly more affordable, because, there's varying ranges of what people can afford. And from an acting perspective, it's really hard, because the opportunities in acting come around more so, I found, when I've been working and had jobs. So look, the more I get more auditions because I've done more jobs. Yes. One really fun thing that me and my friend Jessie used to do when we were at drama school is we used to go to either the bookshop at the Royal Court or the bookshop at the National, and we would just go in there for an afternoon. We'd sit and we'd read a play. We'd pull a play off the wall, any play, could have been on years ago. We'd read the synopsis. We'd like it. There'd be a male 20, female 20. And we're like, right, we're just going to read this play. So we're doing it a bit of that, more you can reading plays. And then I think in the world we live in now with social media, this is twofold, so be careful. You can definitely be accessing self-tape materials for shows that are on Netflix or have been on Netflix by typing Bridgerton script PDF.pdf on Google, or Stranger Things.pdf. Is this bad? I shouldn't be saying this.
No, I think it's great. It's an eye-opener for me. I have no idea about
.pdf,
this.
And you can find scripts or scores. Yeah. If you put .pdf, that will come up. Go with your friends. Invite Julie over. Pour Julie a glass of wine. Say, Julie, I'd love you to read in for the role of Juliet, and I'm going to play Romeo. And tape yourself. Watch yourself back. Find people you trust to watch you back.
Brilliant.
And say, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure I believe that. Or... You're self-generating a bit, work. Get practical about it, because then you'll be ready for when those opportunities come.
We've got all the resources, haven't we?
Yeah.
A little camera on our phone. Yeah. Got scripts on the
I think phones are going to be really useful for the next generation of actors. And, you've seen companies like TikTok and Instagram and even Cannes Film Festival this year or last year launched a short film that's made on your iPhone.
Right, yeah.
And I think that before that, and maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong, but before I think that the social media of it all was kind of like a little bit maybe frowned on by the like the purists of the entertainment world. Whereas I think that you do have to be careful because you don't want to give too much of yourself away or like put too much of yourself out there before you're ready to share it with the world, or put too much out there that isn't representative of who you actually are or could be. So you do have to tread a fine line, but I think that there is definitely something in putting yourself out there and asking the universe for what you think you deserve.
Right.
So what do you feel, talking about what you tell your younger self, what advice can you give to young people who are leaving drama school, going out into the industry for the first time, given the climate we're in now, and you're well aware of how competitive it is? It's
really hard coming out of drama school, I think, at any time. And I think it probably even more so now. I don't know. I think that there's more schools that have got really good teachers, so are producing really good students, which is why I think those schools are getting better names for themselves. There's schools that are taking hundreds of students a year, so lots of people come out. But what I will say about that, right, is that that's life. Like, it's representative of what it's like to audition in this industry from someone who's working and not working, myself included. Like, you're auditioning against like all of these people. Like, you're all in the same pool, is what I would say. So I don't know, I went to Erdang and my year was massive, and I was training amongst people, like I said, that were going to be dancing next to Beyonce. I was never going to be doing that. But what that did do for me is it made me go, oh, well, if I'm going to be going into a dance school when I graduate, at least I'll feel like I've danced next to this amazing person. So at least I have the confidence to do it. But it's also representative of knowing that there's loads of different varying levels of people who are at different levels with different skill sets. You know, not everyone who graduates from a 3-year course at drama school has the same level of dance. No. Not everyone who graduates has the same level of singing. Not everyone who graduates has the same level as acting. They go in how they come out. The only difference that you have when you graduate in that first year, I think, is the name of the school that you went to and how you can monopolise on that slightly. I don't say this to be thingy, but I think when you graduate, I think that if I was graduating now, I would be doing a lot of turning up to small fringe venues, plays, small fringe venues, musicals, to try and meet the actors or the MDs or the producers, to try and make myself be seen, visible, right?
And social media, I guess, would come into that as well.
I'd be singing at people's concerts. I'd be, getting in touch with, there's so many brilliant new musical theatre writing happening in the UK. There's been a real boom of it, I think, in the last couple of years even. And I'd be, who's released a song with that composer? Is there a world in which I could even just message someone and say, hi, if you're ever looking for a singer for a demo, I'd love to sing. Just
being really proactive.
Just being proactive. And I think that there's a fine line. You can ask once. You can ask once. And like, you have to ask because no one's going to give you anything. Like, and I say this with love, like, my agent and my team are lovely, but like, they facilitate the opportunity for me to get in the room. And lots of the time I'm just as proactive as my team, going, okay, this director I really love, I went to see their play, I wonder if it might be possible what they're doing next. Could I get a coffee? Is there a workshop going on of this? Like, just being as proactive as you can. Being a graduate is hard. It's really hard work. And my year group all graduated during the pandemic.
Right.
I was the 2020, but I'd gone and done the film before, so I didn't go back for my third year. So all of my friends graduated in that really awful time. But yeah, also supporting each other. And I think we rise horizontally, right? Yeah. So like hopefully I'm planning a solo gig for the new year, because we've just had the Percy Jackson album came out just a couple of weeks ago. So I'm hopefully planning a concert in the new year, and I will be like having a few of my friends to sing with me or sing BVs and stuff, because I think we rise horizontally, right? So, and also like, don't compete with your peers. Like, work with your peers. Like, I really want to like make work with people I like. Like the only person you're in competition with is yourself, really.
Yeah.
As boring as that is, and as cliche as that is.
Yeah.
Such an old head on your shoulders, Max.
It's so
But you want to work with your peers, so if you're competing with them, they ain't going to want to be your friends,
No.
and then you're ultimately not going to have anyone to work with, right?
Yeah.
And
Is that right? I don't know.
Share your peers' successes. As
Yeah.
well.
I always do
Don't
that.
be resentful because
Yeah.
it just sort of eats away at you, doesn't it?
Again, we get back to frequency.
Yeah.
You know, the more you do that.
I actually don't get any more joy than I do than going to see my friends do stuff. I was going to swear then. I've been really good, haven't I? Haven't I been good?
Well, you can swear, it's okay.
You've got a bleep
I
button.
know. Have you got bleep? Bleep. But yeah, really, that's what I would say.
And what do you think has been sort of hardest lesson that you've learnt so far in your endeavours?
That you just don't work. Sometimes you just don't work. Sometimes you just don't get the job.
Right.
So what do you do? Like, what do you do when you're not doing anything?
Go on holiday.
Go on holiday, but what if you can't afford to go on holiday? Because let's be real, sometimes, you know, the pot dwindles. So you have to be smart.
You go to the bookshop at the National.
Yeah, you do. But also, you know, it's good to, you know, have other avenues of income, you know,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
That's
Well, I
another
think
podcast.
You've
I've
heard
listened
that.
to it,
Yeah, the sort of side hustle.
The side
Side hustling, teaching, working
Yeah.
temp jobs, working as a barista. There's no shame in it. We all do it.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Honestly, people don't talk about it enough. But you know, I'm not making millions of pounds doing this yet.
No.
I
I love the yet.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
So that's what I mean. You have to, you know, be really real, be a realist and work hard. I'm from Basingstoke, and I want to have a nice life and have a holiday, so I've got to work. But that's a hard lesson because, you know, sometimes you feel like the industry that you want doesn't want you, which is rough. Yeah.
You said you did several rounds for Percy Jackson, was it? You did several rounds for that, or was it for Jamie?
For Jamie, yeah.
So, how do you? Because I worked with somebody recently who did multiple, like 8 rounds for a job. Yeah. How do you not sort of buy into it more and more and more emotionally?
It's hard. You do. I did a really good few rounds for a musical that I won't mention that I didn't end up getting, which was so I was devastated. I was devastated because it was a director that I really loved, a venue that I really loved, and got right down to the finals. The director cried in my final audition, and I walked out of there thinking, this one's mine. Yeah. I was like, yes, success. But then I didn't get the job, and it is really hard, especially when you've invested so much of your time. I suppose when you're in a process like that, the only thing I can say that's helped me is to not start envisioning your life with the job in your life.
Exactly.
Hard to do.
Planning your
Really hard to do.
holidays
Yeah.
and
And
when
also
you're gonna
not
take
like,
time off.
How you gonna spend the money?
not like, don't overshare.
Yeah.
Like, don't overshare when you're in a process. Like, don't overshare with your friend too much about what happened in the room because you're just overthinking it. Probably, if you watch the video back of it, probably wasn't like imagined at all.
Quite a few of our clients are good at that, aren't they?
Yeah.
You help them with the audition rep,
It's like, how did it go?
and then you don't hear anything. You don't hear anything for weeks, and you think, oh, well, that's gone by the by, and then suddenly they announce it because they're good. They're very good. They don't actually let anybody know.
They wouldn't
because
tell.
They wouldn't say anything to anybody.
I would tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that some of them do. And
Some of them do.
We have like a Hippocratic oath.
If you were working on the material with me, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some
I would
people
tell you
are
immediately.
surprised.
We're very good at not sharing information that people. We're very good at keeping secrets, aren't we?
Honestly,
People tell
like,
us.
who cares though? Apart from
Well,
what's on
I am.
stage, no one
Yeah,
else.
no.
No one else is gonna. No one's gonna post it. Like,
No.
I'm sorry that we know everyone's castings before they're announced. We just do.
Yes.
We do.
On the grapevine.
We do. Like, I'm sorry, we do. No one is keeping that secret.
No.
They're not.
But then you get
No
this
one
what's
is.
on stage announcement, and you're like,
Oh, I found out that
when
weeks
were
ago.
you going to share this? When
Yeah.
were you going to tell us about it? You know?
Yeah.
Oh,
Some people are good.
do
I
it.
mean, it's always good when you can surprise people, I
Yeah.
guess. And I suppose it does make things a little bit more exciting for you as a person to be able to share it all in one day.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's not how I've ever done it.
It is a privilege what we do, isn't it?
Oh yeah, massively.
Yeah.
Share people's dreams.
But also on the flip side of that, we have to be a counsellor. We have to
Yeah.
help people who did go through 8 rounds,
Yeah.
didn't get the job, and then you're having
How
to
do you manage that?
console. Well,
How do you
have to-
manage that? Because that is a lot. Actors are a lot, right?
Yeah, but it's for the reasons you've cited
We're a lot.
today.
Yeah.
You know, it's keeping your feet on the ground. It's being, you have to reassure them that this is about the uncontrollables.
Yeah,
they didn't
that's
get
exactly
it. It's
what I was gonna
nothing
say.
about their voice. It's nothing about their talent.
Yeah.
It could be something as innocuous that they're too tall or they're too short.
Yeah. And on the contrary to that, sometimes I'll go in for a job and I just can't do it. I can't. It's just not me. I can't. My voice isn't right for it. And like that's okay. Like that's also okay. Like it's good to try things, right? Like it's good to like.
Oh, it is.
Like I could never be in Les Mis. Like I could never be in that show, Julie. Like I could.
Is that a challenge?
No, it's not. I couldn't. It's too long to do 8 shows a week anyway. But in terms of a length of a show, but
Why though?
well, I couldn't sit because I don't sing like that in that way. It's terrifying to me. We did try, didn't we?
We did a little bit of some
Of,
stuff. And what was
what's
it?
Empty
it?
chairs or something like that.
No, it wasn't Les Mis. It was maybe Carousel.
If I Loved You.
Maybe something like
Oh,
that.
that's different though.
Yeah.
But like that, it's like Les Mis like contemporary legit vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it goes through different tectonic
Phases.
plate shifts of what's in vogue. You know, sometimes you get Eponine riffing, for example.
Yeah.
You get Marius's who are straight tone. You know, the heroicism of the Enjolras remain pretty consistent.
Right.
But there's some other parts that are more poppy.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Who knows? Maybe
Never say never.
Never say never, but what I'm saying is like sometimes something isn't for you, and it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay as yourself to go to actually just be not self-critical, but like be a realist and go,
Yeah.
Julie, like I actually can't sing that high 8 shows a week, and you go in, yeah, you're not set up for that, and having people to go,
Yes.
and just being real, like sometimes that's how.
You shouldn't be struggling all
No,
the
no, no.
time to try and push yourself.
No. If it's something you
beyond-
really want, like if I
Yes.
wanted to play Alphaba, like obviously I'm not going to play Alphaba, but I'm saying like if
Why
I was
not?
You never
if
know.
I was a
One day.
person who wanted to play Alphaba and I just didn't have that high quality voice, it would be like you would be doing a disservice to me as a client, and I would be doing a disservice to myself if I was trying to achieve something that we both know
Yeah.
that.
It is interesting managing
know what I
people's
mean?
expectations, because there are people who come, for instance, and want to sing, I don't know, Wizard and I or Defying Gravity, and you can hear that potentially somewhere down the line
They could work.
they could do that.
Yeah, bit
But
of
this is where
development.
this regular, we talk about this all the time, and it's not, honestly, it's not about touting for business. What we do care about, because we invest so much of ourselves in it, is our students, our clients,
Yeah.
and getting them to understand. And I think I don't know whether this is the case that you've always had this work ethic, which I probably think, having talked to you now, you have, but just having worked in the film industry and actually having worked and spent some time in the States, because there's a very different ethos
And,
in
and
terms
scrutiny.
of,
And scrutiny. Of,
and that's
of work.
probably why there's a different ethos.
Yeah.
Because, keeping working on your craft is just part of the culture out there, and it's not so much here.
Yeah.
But the problem is that, people will come for a lesson sometimes and they'll be really tough on themselves. And I will have to say to them, I haven't seen you in 8 months.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Now,
longer.
if you want, I'm very happy if people want to go and work with other singing teachers. That is entirely up to them.
Yeah.
It's not anything to do with me. And most of the time they say, "Oh, I haven't had a lesson since I saw you last," and then they want to sing this difficult material, and then they're getting cross with themselves because they can't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What?
You haven't
What
practiced.
makes you so special, honey?"
Yeah. We all
It's
have
a
to practice.
muscle.
Yeah.
So it's really about learning that you can only ask of yourself what you've prepared,
Yeah.
and not just come at the last minute when you've got an audition for.
I mean, that wouldn't happen in the sporting world.
No.
No, I was just thinking like
Never.
a tennis
In a million
player
years.
wouldn't try and play the Wimbledon final without months and months of training before it. And I do think, like I went to see Emma, who's one of my close friends who's playing Alphaba at the minute. I went to see her opening night as Alphaba, and it was the most crazy experience. And I just watched her and I was like, "You're an athlete. I don't
Yeah.
100%.
I don't know how you're doing that." But like I know how she's doing it, because she's really she works technically really hard and has worked technically hard so she can execute that performance for as long as I've known
Yeah.
her. So it's like, it's,
And ongoing dedication.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't realise
No.
just what a sort of physical, regime it is. You know full well as well, the sacrifices you have to make. So when you were doing Percy, did you get into a routine of preservation, of sleep, of hydration?
I mean, I was lucky because a lot of the stuff because I was like, I basically said to Julie, I was like, I don't know how to do an 8-show week as a singer. Help. Like, what do I need to be doing? So a lot of the stuff that I implemented was stuff that you said, which really, truthfully, was making sure I was drinking enough water and sleeping enough. Obviously, there's so much talk about vocal health on the internet at the minute, which I think is, somewhat beneficial. But also, I had to really strip back some of the excess stuff that I was doing because it wasn't helping my mental health. So there is a fine balance. But the things that I absolutely swear by was the vocal tube and the bubbles, every warm up. Also, the one thing that you said actually to me.
Oh God.
I know, because I hope this is right. But making sure I'm doing my own warm up.
Yes.
That's
Very
tailored
important.
to me. Make sure I'm listening to my voice when I'm warming up,
Yep.
not trying to shout Bella Signore as hard as I can over. Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that really sustained me on that job. I also loved. I just got into a habit of like just not really speaking when I wasn't at work. You just do become a little bit of a hermit. I was like steaming when I got home, going to sleep, nebulizing before the show. It did get a bit excessive, but I had to sustain myself through the show, and I did. So,
and that's great. And
So
I
it
also
worked.
think that not that actually, to be absolutely honest, I've ever done 8 shows a week because I was never involved in musical theatre in that way. Richard's done it. But it's again, we talk about it being a muscle.
Yeah.
And the more you're in the show, the more your body just gets used to doing
you
that.
get into a groove, don't you?
You get into a groove. And the negative side of that, and we've seen this quite a lot, is people come to us if they've been in a show for a few months or more than that, and then suddenly like it's announced that the show is closing, and then there's this mass rush.
Auditions.
And they're like, I can't sing anything else.
Yeah.
That's because you haven't sung anything else.
Yeah. You don't want to, honestly, you don't want to sing anything else.
No.
You don't.
When it's as intense as
Yeah.
what you were doing, you don't
just
want to be
wanna be
coming into
silent.
it singing "If I Loved You." Do you really?
No. Well, I don't know if I
Well,
could.
I just like to push you.
You do. No, but that's what it's for, like you don't get better if you don't have someone who's like pushing you to do stuff that you're not comfortable doing, right?
Brilliant. Right. So we got a few little quick fire questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fun questions.
I think I saw some of these.
Yeah, you touched on the best vocal habit.
Oh, did I?
Did I best vocal habit? The
Oh,
tube,
great.
probably.
Vocal tube.
Yes.
Swear by it.
This is great.
Also,
because-
wait, one sec.
Go.
Because we spoke so much about breath, for me, personally, different for everyone, but my thing, I wasn't using enough breath to support my sound,
No.
basically. We discovered when we were... Real talk? Oh my God, real talk? Oh my
Yeah.
God, guys, I'm giving away what I was terrible at. So, and that fell into me. What I realised on Percy is that, like, my performance anxiety, and is the first thing to go is my breath.
Yes, you're not alone.
No, so I had to really. That's why I had to really rely on the bubbles, and also a lot of I have this tiny little straw which is to regulate. It's like a meditation thing. You're not phonating or making any sound or anything when you're doing it, but that's breath through straw.
Right.
Oh God, life changer,
It's
game
great.
changer, game changer, game changer, game changer. I don't know how people do it that don't use it, in terms of like setting themselves up to like use the right air pressure and all that sort of stuff.
You've talked about how you sort of balance your life out. What's your sort of go-to thing or things when feeling slightly overwhelmed?
It's got here knitting.
In life,
mark.
no, I don't knit. I don't knit. I shop.
Aha.
Oh,
I
You
shop.
like
therapy.
clothes, don't
I
you?
love fashion. I've got to do some amazing things in the fashion space since becoming an actor. I got to work on the British Vogue's Vogue World London when I was working with you, actually, which Baz Luhrmann directed with Stephen
Right.
Daldry. And I
Very
was invited
nice.
by Anna Wintour to do that, and I love fashion, so
Wow, what
getting
an
dressed up,
opportunity.
and because it's all part of the art world for me, right?
Yeah.
Designers and ateliers are creative people, so I really love that world. So fashion, I watch documentaries a lot because that's real.
Yeah.
It's still watching telly, but it's real.
Who's your biggest inspiration?
Gosh. Oh gosh, I don't know. Maybe my nan, who's no longer with us. I spoke about my nan a little bit in my life, but when I was growing up, she was the pub landlady. She owned a pub in Basingstoke. And she was the one that sort of pulled out the karaoke and was sort of the entertainer of the family, maybe. And yeah, sort of, I think was the one really, when I look now at my adult life, was sort of the hinge point of bringing us all together.
Matriarch.
Yeah, she was. She really was. And I think that, I think without the karaoke nights and the Christmases and the stories and all that sort of stuff, I don't think I would be necessarily who I am today. But I'm inspired by so many different things as well.
That's really sweet.
The family member feels pretty cliche, but it's the truth, right?
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
It should be that way. And
Yeah.
that's lovely. So the last question here I've got on here, but I do need to ask a couple of other questions about
Yeah, go for it.
wine and dogs
Yeah,
and
yeah.
cats and stuff. If you were to play someone in a biopic, who would it be?
Your nan.
My nan. I think many years ago, when I'd finished working with Warp Films, there was conversation about a Tom Daley biopic. But
That's why I said about the knitting.
But that's not that's just to clarify, that's not happening. And also, I've since met Tom and have been friendly with him for the last couple of years. And I think I've aged out of that one now. Quite significantly. Quite significantly, actually, because I think I'm actually taller than him, and I actually look older than him because he just doesn't seem to age. Gorgeous man. I don't know.
Can you do the side eye very well? Flabbergasted. Oh, he was funny in that. I don't know, like maybe a musician of some kind.
Like who?
Yeah, who do you listen to? Who's your pop heroine or hero?
I like the girls, I can't lie. I'm like a big fan of like the girl pop divas, like Olivia Dean and Mahalia and Ray at the minute.
Ray.
Ray
Wow,
is so
she's
good.
doing it.
Wow.
So good. I don't really know. I'm not really giving you an answer, or
That's
maybe
all right,
not.
you don't
Or
need
maybe
to.
not a musician. Maybe like because I like jobs that I really like doing. I'll tell you this: jobs that I really like doing are doing stuff that I don't normally do. So I sing. So maybe not a musician. Maybe like a sportsman. That would be a stretch.
Great.
Or like a scientist, or something really rogue. So I can immerse myself in a different world.
Brian Cox.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Which one?
The scientist.
The scientist.
Well, both. I mean, both are inspirational people.
What about yous? Have you ever thought about that? Who? Wait. Okay, a bet question. Who would you, actress and actor, that you'd want to play you in the biopic of the Vocal Balance life?
There's only one for me.
Who?
George Clooney.
Okay.
You can dream.
You can dream. Okay.
Well,
I think there's an obvious choice
I think
for
there
you.
probably is something that happens to me very often, and
Go
I'm
on.
actually really flattered by it. Is that people will come up to me, or if I'm working with this, has anybody ever told you you look like?
Who's it?
Olivia Colman.
Yes.
I don't think I've said that to you before, but I was like thinking, who do you look like? Who do you look like?
Yeah.
Liv
So
Coleman.
I'd love her. I
Oh
think
God,
she'd be
she'd
brilliant. And
really
she could
capture your
say
energy. Yeah, she'd really
better
capture.
than me.
She'd really capture your energy. I think. She'd really capture your energy. I'd watch that film.
Yeah, Max Harwood, you are a dream.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you
That went
so
so
much.
quickly.
So
It did.
quickly.
I did. We could chat for hours, truly,
Yeah.
couldn't we?
Yeah. Well,
do it over
you know,
cocktail.
we'll do
Yeah.
it over cocktail sometime.
Yes, please.
So-
Without yous lot listening in.
Thank you, darling.
No, thanks for
Thank
having
you
me.
so much.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Vocal Babble. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and we look forward to seeing you next time. From all of us at Vocal Balance, happy bubbling.
Ba 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 ba.